Hello everyone, I am Mr. Lo from Excel Software. Today I want to share with you the AutoCount formula module. So what is the AutoCount formula module? Basically, it is a module and you do not necessarily need to have a programming background. You can operate some formulas in AutoCount yourself. So usually this formula module works together with the UDF module. So I'll show you a sample here. The first sample is on the invoice sides. I want the quantity. The quantity needs to be based on these two new columns. So if you don't know what UDF is, you can watch our user-defined field video. So UDF is an additional field. Let's say I added two fields. One is length times width, okay? Or it's width times its height, okay? Times its height. So we get the quantity. So how do we do this? In the previous video, we mentioned that you must enter AutoCount's Management Studio is for those in the IT department or for our colleagues in the job program. We log in to help you manage some of your program-related tasks and purposes. This is the backend of AutoCount. So AutoCount has a backend called AutoCount Accounting Management Studio. If you want to add a UDF, you choose the UDF field here. So you see now we want to add it to the invoice. Then we add it here in the invoice. So we choose to add two new fields. But you have to remember, invoice is also divided. Details are related to items. If it's an invoice, this is not related to items. So you go to details here. So you need to add two. The first one is its width. Width is a decimal. It has numbers. If you have two decimals, you put two. Okay, if you have two decimals, you put two. If you have three decimals, you put three. So this is a number. Then okay, then it has height and it has height. So if it specifies that each time the height comes out as 1, you just put 1. It's the default value. Here you can have another default value. If both are default as 1, here you can put both as 1, put both as 1. Okay, so after filling it in, you go back to your invoice, go to your invoice. Okay, so in this invoice here, you just okay, so for the customer choosing option A here, okay, you see there is this width and height, okay, width and height. So I'll temporarily delete the columns that are not needed, all right, temporarily delete them. So we need these two, okay, this multiplied by this equals quantity, all right, how to do it? So we save this first, this column, okay, save layout. So this is invoice. Write the formula, this multiplied by this is actually very simple. We just need to go back to the same Management Studio. Inside the Management Studio, the tools, formula. Then earlier we used the first user-defined field. Now we use a formula. So in this formula, we go to sales, which is also detailed. But here we update the quantity. So you need to find the quantity. So pay attention to the quantity here. There is initialize and change. Initialize is when you open the invoice function. It will update some formulas. So because this is when we want it to key in some info, it will update this quantity. So it is a column change. And when we want to update that thing, it will update this quantity. So what do we update here? It's very simple. You just find that width multiply is the star multiplied by a height. Okay, so that's how simple its formula is. All right, so after writing that formula, you can check if it's correct. Once it's correct, we'll save it. Okay, so now we go back to the invoice section, okay, and we close the invoice. Please test it again. Open a new invoice. Let's say I want to select any item. Here I multiply. Okay, here I multiply by 15. Okay, you will see the quantity will automatically update. You don't need to calculate it manually. Sometimes if you calculate manually, it might be wrong. So generally, if you encounter this situation, and often we calculate, we still set the formula so that the system calculates it automatically. Let it calculate automatically. Okay, this is the first usage. So it's for doing some basic calculations. You can divide by 1000, divide by 50, no problem. Just follow this simple formula. You just fill it in the formula there yourself. Okay, let me repeat. The important part is to pay attention. Remember that after selecting the quantity, it is a column change, not initialized. So you must fill it correctly as column change for it to update the formula. If you have tested many times and still can't get it to work, it's either because you haven't logged out of the entire program, so you might need to log out and log in again. Or secondly, you need to select the correct column change and then it will update. So this is the first step. Then the first sample and then the second sample. Let's say I want to copy info. I want to copy the UDF called bank account from the debtor side to our invoice, to the bank account UDF in the invoice. So how do we do it? Return to the previous database, the one where I recorded that UDF. So if you watch that video, you would see here that I actually added this bank account UDF table in the debtor, and I also added it to the sales invoice here, okay, also called bank account. So BANKACC, added a new column in the same way. But here you see, although I added this bank account info and filled in this ABC thing, there is a bank account here. But when I go to the invoice, it cannot automatically bring that bank account over. It can't. So a simple formula still needs to be written. So how about this formula? Also, go back to our management studio, here. You choose formula sales, okay? Pay attention. This formula is not for details or for items that we put in invoice details. If it's debtor or creditor information, like their address or data, we use invoice. So here in invoice. If you want to update the bank account in the invoice, also deselect it. Here at bank account, similarly, do not select initialize, choose column change. After selecting column change, you must write some formulas. So for these simple formulas, you can ask ChatGPT because this is a text we call string. So it's called a string. You see here, it tells you what to put in, what to put in for it to produce that result. Okay, here I made a sample. Okay, you can follow this sample, key it in, you can follow this sample and key it into that formula. Then here, I have already prepared the formula in advance. So I just need to put this formula in. So it is copied from the detox UDF, okay, called bank account. Copy when something changes, when this account number. Why is it account number? This requires a little bit of skill. Okay, you need to look back at the database, and the database, you need to see what it's called in the debtor. Hey, inside, what is this table called in the debtor? What is this column called? Then, for the one that places the debtor number or debtor code, what is it called? So here it is called ACC number, so it's ACC number, okay? When it changes, it will copy into the sales invoices debtor code, okay? Similarly, if you don't know where the sales invoices debtor code is, you can also look at that. You can also find it from this form, find it from this table, okay? So does it mean I just take this formula? Let's see, directly take that formula, check if there is any error. If there is no error, we save it. We will save it. So go back to the invoice side, we don't save it first. Okay, we go to sales invoice, open a new invoice. So remember, we can edit that column, we first bring out that bank account, so it will be easier for you to see, and then you can directly see if it has updated this bank account. So when I select other doctors, this bank account is empty. But when I fill in this ABC, SDN, BHD, once I fill in ABC, SDN, BHD, it will fill in this, okay, that bank account goes in. So this is our formula from earlier where we set it to copy the info from the debtor table into the sales invoice table, okay? So basically, the function of the formula is that simple. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Thank you, everyone.